2013.
Mac
Okay.
version?
It's fine, just 2013. How about who is using Keynote? And how about who's using 2010? So we have more than half that's using 2010. We using 2013. Okay, it's not okay. It's fine because the version I'm using is 2013. So I guess it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, everyone open this file. Who has trouble opening it for now? Everyone's fine? Who has opened the file? Please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How about the others? Got it? Well, by the way, download the whole file. Don't open it as PDF or any kind of file format. That's not PowerPoint.
Do I?
Yes.
Is your demo suitable for Mac, or I need?
Yeah, it works for Mac too.
Or I need to
Just the keys maybe over there.
Or,
But I prefer open it as PowerPoint.
yeah, that's PowerPoint. But I mean, do I need to use the VMware Fusion?
Okay, and let's begin. Okay, so since Bill taught us the theories, I'm going to talk about the practical applications of using PowerPoint, this program. I'm going to talk about these topics, like shortcut keys, cropping pictures, removing background, arrangement and design, and there will be one practice session. And if we have time, we'll go through multimedia, hyperlink, and we're going to do some more practices, like to design an award or an photo album. Now, let's start with the basic techniques, the shortcut keys. Now, this is how, there are some explanations here, but I'm going to go through it by oral explanation. Okay, first of all, we have 6 or 7, 6 keys to teach. First one, shift. What does shift do? In PowerPoint, if you create a shape by pressing shift and drag, you can create a shape with the same ratio. And at the same time, I'm explaining it. Feel free to try it at the same time. And if I want to move the object by pressing shift, I can move it on the vertical or horizontal plane without moving it out of the line, like this. This is what happens when I press shift. And this is what happens when I don't press shift. See the difference? And when it comes to resizing, by pressing the key shift, you can resize it by the same ratio too. And this works for other shapes such as triangle. Here. This is without pressing shift, and this is pressing shift. Okay, now this is about the key shift. Now we are going to the key control. When you press control, you can resize the object. Resize the object by snapping to its center, like this. And this is what happens when I release control. And this is what happens when I press it. See the difference? And this is what happens when I press shift and control simultaneously. You can resize it based on the same location and the same ratio. Here we go. Okay, now let's go to the next one. You'll know that shift and control C does what? copy, right? And Control V does paste. But if today we want to copy something else that's different, if we want to copy the design, for example, this text has a special font, size, and illuminations, blue text box. And then pressing it twice, you deselect the text box. There we go. And if today you press F2, you can toggle between selecting and deselecting. And here's an explanation to that. Okay, for now, we're going to have around 3 minutes that everyone practice using the keys mentioned here. Some of the functions, so it may not work for some keys. For example, Shift Control C does not work on Mac, but it should work on Windows. But just know that this is the way, and this is going to happen if you press these keys. Okay, next one. Here, cropping. What's important about photo cropping? Sometimes the image you imported from outside may be too big. Now imagine today you want to make this photo fit into this box, like this. How are we going to do it? Here. Press the image, and there will be a tab over here that says Image Tool, and then press Crop. Now drag this part, just like what you did in Bill's practice. Here, drag it, and click outside. Now the image is cropped. Now you do copy and paste over here. Rotate a little bit and see if the image fits or not. Uh-oh, looks like it doesn't fit. In this situation, there's no need to worry. Here, press crop again, because the image is still there. The place you crop, you can still undo it. There you go. Now that fits better. And then you can add some effects, for example, like 揉边. Here. Now that it fits perfectly into this album background. Okay, for now, I'll have 3 minutes of practice to do this. Okay, 3 minutes. Let us go to background removal. Here. Okay, here's the thing. Because 2010 may not support this function, which is reads 移除背景. So we may need to use 设定透明色彩 as an alternative. Or do you have it in 2010?
2010.
Oh, so it's there. Okay, great. Okay, let's try to remove this black background by just one press, one key press. Actually, more than one. Here, few key presses. Here, click this image, go to Image Tool, and there is something called Color. Then click Set Transparent Color. After clicking that key, press the area you want to set it as transparent. For example, here, I want black to be removed. Here we go. Now black color is removed. Oh, what if today we have? What if today we want to remove something like more complicated here? Because if we press this, it's not going to work. See the white area, which is supposed to be Postmaster's logo, is also removed. Now we need other functions. So that is background removal. Here, click it. Now you want to tell the computer that this main object is inside this square. Now the pink areas is the place that's going to be removed as background. But this text is not background. So here, we press 标示 believe everyone is done. I believe everyone's done. Am I correct? Okay, let's move on to arrangement and design. For those who have listened to Professor Benson or Ye Bingchen's speech, you'll recognize this as something very, very familiar. Well, I found this very useful too. This is about rearranging the objects in a very efficient way. Okay, here's a question. If you want to draw this with these lines equally distributed among each other, how long does it take? It may take nearly an hour if you draw it one by one. But there's a technique to speed up at least 100 times. Here, let me show you. Go to Insert, Shape. Insert, Shape, find an arrow that's here. Press Shift. Why Shift? Because you want to draw an horizontal arrow. Not this, but this. By pressing Shift. And then you can color it, like make it black or make it blue if you want, like it. And here's the thing. Here. Insert another line without an arrow. Drag it down. And then you need to copy these lines. There are two ways of doing it. First, Control C and Control V. That's one way of doing it. Like doing it over and over again. Or you can press Control and press Shift and then drag. Now here's the magic. By pressing this key, you can copy the object, but not fast enough yet. Here, I'm going to copy it by yeah, 2的 n 次方, there we go. And then I set the end distance and the beginning distance. And then I go to Shape tool, press Align. Here, there you go. And if you find the vertical lines too long, you can do this. Group it, and then size it. I'll show you how to do this later when I'm around. So, because most of the time you may not need this problem, need this thing. And if you don't remember how is it done, you can look at this page. Here, there are lines drawn, and if you select it and press these two keys, that is over here, 垂直置中 and 水平均分. There you go. Okay, and the other part. This is about the same too. Here, just press. To make it equally distributed, press 水平均分 and 垂直均分. And there you go. You can arrange it with equal distance and equal horizontal and equal vertical distance. Okay, now let's practice for 3 minutes. Okay, now here comes one challenge question or challenge practice. Here, let us go to 综合应用 or mixed applications. Here, this we have 4 slides over here. We have 4 slides, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the final result, and this is the raw material. This is problem 1, and this is problem 2. Just pick one. The first one is easier. The second one is a little bit harder. Now try to make this from this, or try problem 2. Make this from this. This is harder, and this is more simple. We'll have 5 minutes for this one, and everything can be done by using the techniques I have introduced a few more moments ago. And we have 5 minutes for this one. Let's complete it and once more time. Completed? Yes? No? Nice. Okay, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so for this one, we can do it by either setting transparent colors to remove the background, or remove the background by itself. Now when it comes to this one bottle, just go through it line by line. And get this handle here. Make the image bigger. And for this one, you need to crop. Make the image also bigger. And set transparent colors. And the word. Finally, the background. Oops. There we go. And for this one, how can we do it? Here, we first enlarge the image. You can crop it, or, well, cropping is one way to do it. Crop and remove the background. This is harder because sometimes the computer may not be able to detect where is the subject. So we need to drag the line through here. And this tiny 牙签 here. What? Or?
可以作弊啊！上一页 Ctrl Shift C Ctrl Shift
This? The whole thing and then you Control Shift? Okay, that works too. And this one, same concept, remove the background. Okay, let's assume this is removed. And this text, you may realize that there is a blue and a shadow over here. How do you do this? Here, let me show you. Go to 绘图工具 and this where it says word effects, text effects. Click and illumination. Click this one, and here comes some colors. Make the word bigger. And here's more. Reflection. Or smaller reflection. There you go. Okay. This is how we do it. And okay, let's go to the next session. Because of some time limitations, we're going to skip the multimedia part. Well, basically, this is about playing, like how to play across pages. Like when you are playing music or this one. Okay, now the music's playing, but if you go to the other page, it stops. So how can you play across pages? Okay, here. Right click and press here. 在背景播放 play a background. Now let's try it. You can sort across the pages without stopping the music. And there are some more tutorials over here. You can play at background, which is what I demonstrated a few minutes ago. Or you can play across selected pages. For example, you want to play across only 3 pages. Then you can do this to accomplish this part. Okay, because of time limitations, we're going to skip this one and try it at home afterwards. Now, hyperlink and triggers. When is this used? For example, this continuous presentation, Jeopardy game, or final presentation for a contest. Here, you can try this one by pressing, go into this page by pressing Shift and F5. Now you can try this one. When you press it, you'll link to the other page. Then press Return, go back, and this key disappears. And the way to do it, I'm going to show you. Here, press this icon first. Now you want to first make this image disappear after clicking it. Add image at the tab over here where it says animation. Drag it down, find disappear, and then press animation window. And find this animation, that's this one. Now you want to make it disappear after I click this shape. So if you try it again, after clicking it, it disappears. Okay, now we're going to try this one first for 3 minutes. This may be a little bit hard to find on the interface, so if you have problems, feel free to ask. Now, after clicking this button, we can make it disappear. And why do we need this? This is because, for example, in the Jeopardy games, we need to make the key disappear after we press it. But how about if we want to link through other pages in like this continuous presentation or during contest final presentation? Because the judge may be asking you questions. For example, where do you get this resource in which you have set it somewhere in the PowerPoint slides, but you don't want to press escape and sort through and find it. You want to make yourself professional. So you can use hyperlink, and this is how you use this is how you do it to link to other pages. Here, click, right click, where it says hyperlink. Now you want to link to somewhere in this document, which it reads page B. Your turn. That's this one. So you press OK and try it. Now you link to this page. And the same concept, we want to return to this page where it says hyperlink and key triggers. So it's the same concept too. Link to somewhere in this file in which it says this one. Oops. Here. And let's try it. This one. There you go. Okay, let's do it for 3 minutes too. Any of you then get to complete it, trigger or add animation, hyperlink, and oh, by the way, for this one, I believe some of you may have recognized it. When you click objects, you see like it's named already. But if today we add any shape, like any random shape, you see that the names of these objects are different than what you think. Like here, it says 举行 10, like 9, 8. And it gets confusing when you have a lot of objects in a slide. So how can you rename the objects? Here is how you do it. Go to Home tab, click 选取. That's here. Home tab or 常用 here 选取 and then 选取窗格. You can rename the object where you want. And then this object will be called after naming them. And you can make some objects disappear too. Like you don't want to see this, you want to see this, or you want to see others, you can hide it. And you can pull it back after when you need it. Okay, this is about naming the objects. Okay, now here we go into comparing different kinds of design software. I believe everyone has heard of Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop, these two powerful image modifying program or software. Am I correct?
Yes.
Who has used like Illustrator or Photoshop before? And now everyone's using PowerPoint, right? So what is the difference between or among them? Some of us can say Illustrator is vector-based. Like you can drag a line, you can drag a shape. And Photoshop is dot-based. You modify by simple like pixels by pixels. And Microsoft PowerPoint is somewhere between Illustrator and Photoshop. It's object-oriented. Like this is an object, and you can deselect these objects. But in Photoshop or in Illustrator, well, in Illustrator you can do this too, but not as convenient as Photoshop. Because PowerPoint is designed to be like object by object, which is like to make it simple to use. So it is actually pretty easy, 就是比较容易上手 to design like a poster or anything with PowerPoint. Now here is the almost final session. We're going to practice designing an award, for example, like based on these materials, or you can find it on the internet too. If you think these materials aren't good enough, you can try like designing an award, and you can put your name on, and you can put your photos on too. Or we can try, just choose between one, or like 回忆那个相簿回忆录之类的 something like this. Like you find pictures and then do some cropping, decorations, rearrangement, and something like that. And where can you get these pictures? You can get it if you can access the internet. If you can't access the internet, then please find me. I'll help you. You can find the albums of Toastmasters over here, and you can use this background, or you can find another one. So this award or an photograph by using object-oriented PowerPoint. We'll have 10. Let's have 10 minutes for this practice, or 12 minutes.